Out to the trappers, we are my back lit. It's D out of Henny man, battle rap trap, and we definitely got the streets.
D out of Henny man. D out of Henny man. Put it on your YouTube.
But I really enjoyed the pod. I had a lot of fun. It was so much fun.
I do have a question for you that's not too messy but
Let,
business related.
let's do it.
How much should he have asked for, given that he's quote unquote done? The number I'm hearing that I know you heard, suicide mission.
But my thing is this, and I tried to ask them on the pod, but they such fucking fans over there. If he's of the belief that he recouped really, really, really fast, like, and he thinks that's a fact, then I guess he's well within his right to present that number.
Nobody said nothing about recouping. He said he fulfilled his obligation. Other mistake.
He should have left.
Oh, and I want to be clear. I do think Drake has a legal argument. He definitely has a legal argument. It's just
Against
Agreed.
such
him.
a cop out as it's just not hip hop.
It's just gonna be
But
tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be real
he got an
tough.
argument. He got some meat
But
in
to
that
answer you,
argument.
Ian, I wonder if they would have had no problem just giving them the same number again.
Yes. When you get
Why
to
would
them
I get the
D's,
same number again? That's a loss. If I
Because
get the same number
400 is
again, I lost.
400.
Fair
100
enough.
still.
No,
Yes.
no, it's supposed to grow.
Hey guys,
How
happy
does it grow when you
Thanksgiving.
lose
Hi,
that rap battle?
Ian.
Hey,
Hey, Ian, how are you,
Ian.
my guy?
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy
I don't
Thanksgiving,
celebrate slaughter, but
Ian.
happy week, happy
But
Wednesday.
listen, how
Hey.
can it grow if the people you talking to feel like we are responsible for whatever you have going on?
So what? That
And
was our
turned into.
partnership.
Wait,
That's
wait, I have an answer, Joe. I have an answer.
all right.
Please.
Don't say anything tone deaf. Let's do it.
I'm not, buddy. Come on.
Please don't. Please don't. Go ahead, Ian. I'm interested. Please don't ruin it.
It's pre-Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna say anything tone
All
deaf.
right, let's do it.
I know the way it could grow.
Pause.
Do it.
He has to leave. He has to
That's a
go do
valid
it
pause.
independently.
Oh no,
That's
well
it.
no, I know that. We know that. I said that. But we just talking about if he were to get it from the people he was asking from.
He's not
Hold on,
gonna
wait.
get it
Are
from
But
them
you
y'all
can't
wait a
because
minute.
they're
overstep that thought
No, no,
because
no.
he does have to leave. That's the end.
No, he
that's
does
the end.
not.
That's how
No,
No.
you
I
get
disagree with
no.
that. I disagree with that. He can't
You
leave.
have to leave. You have to
Will
leave.
they let
If
him leave is a question. And
I don't
Drake
until
has
that's
never
what I
been
said. I don't
independent.
they're not letting that boy
they
go
not letting
now.
them go nowhere.
see, I don't believe that.
I think anybody talking about Drake going independent is y'all are that's fan fiction. Drake has never been independent. He's always had a machine. That's how we
But
got
wait, but
Drake.
but if he were independent right now, how much do you think he could make a year?
Oh, the
A
number's
quarter
crazy.
of what he's been making. A
Hell
quarter.
no.
Shit.
What?
Hell no.
You think
Yeah.
more?
I'm
What?
sorry.
You think
That
Way
that's
more.
more?
that's
Yeah.
somebody who
Wait,
doesn't know what
hold
they're
on. You
talking
think
about.
Yeah.
more?
Way more.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. Let me talk.
I think way
You
more.
think
4 times
Drake
more.
needs the machine?
No, he
No, he
No,
doesn't.
don't.
he doesn't.
Drake is the machine.
Doesn't.
Drake is the machine.
Yeah, I think y'all are tripping. Y'all are
Why?
tripping.
Okay.
I
Well,
think y'all
wait.
think
Wait.
Drake is the
Tell us
machine. Hold
why.
on. I think y'all think Drake is the machine because the machine worked so good that now,
I'm
like, and a lot of people do this. When you have a great team or you have people behind the scene making shit happen for you, they get confused and think it's them making it happen. Like, it's
I'm
the
t-
machine.
I'm not speaking on
I
his
don't know.
behalf. And Danny, when you clip this up, clip me up in context. I'm telling you, at least 3 times more money. That's why they won't let him. The kid asking
That's a fact.
for
That's a fact.
2.9
That's a
billion
So
to
fact.
leave.
so who cares? So then, Ian, if that's the truth, then why don't they give him the money?
I have some friends in BMF when BMF was over. They couldn't leave either. Same shit. What are we
But that's
talking
not
about?
the same shit. Drake is
He's
responsible for
asking
more
for
music
3 billion
consumption
on
than
the exit.
decades worth of music across all genres. It
And
is
out.
not the same.
Wait, y'all don't think that's
If we,
because of the machine? So y'all don't think the
L
machine is
L,
keeping.
hold up with your machine talk. Let the pros talk for a second.
I'm asking questions. Y'all gotta have somebody that's not a pro to help
We
flesh out these
answered you.
ideas.
We said no.
way more.
If
But
Thank
and
that
you.
that's the
nigga
same.
had some heat, right? If he had some some fire, undeniable fire, and just sent out a tweet and hit upload, and then went and did all of his shows just on his own.
Own.
Come on, man. Come on,
God.
man. What are we talking about?
I'm saying 10 to 20 times the amount of money he's earning now. He would be
Easily.
making with no
In
middleman.
his pocket.
But that's the threat. At
Yeah, I believe
least,
that.
yeah, but is it worth your life?
His life's in jeopardy now if you're taking that stance.
Absolutely. And he knows that shit loud and clear, and I won't say nothing else. This shit is, I thought the Puff shit was serious when he got out. This way worse.
Yeah, if he went independent, they would do something else.
Immediately.
They would do something
That
else.
that I that I don't believe because I
Shit. He's
think
worse now.
That's tone deaf.
his influence. It's not tone deaf.
They
It's
killed
He owns
confidence.
Michael
his own
Jackson in front
masters.
of
Yeah,
us and left
exactly.
a bloody shirt in the closet, and nobody said a fucking thing.
Big facts.
Yeah, no, I
Dog, I'm
disagree
telling
with
you,
that.
I
What's
don't
up,
care what you
honestly,
Ian?
think. The boy is
here's
worried.
two
That big ass
seconds.
fruit he had, he's, oh, Danny, don't put this.
I'm gonna tell you what I think this is. This is the common case of being reliant on a system and a guaranteed check as opposed to taking a chance and going out on your own. I don't think it's any more complicated than that.
And I agree.
And I
No, but how,
disagree.
how how much how much money do you need to have before you're willing to take the risk? I mean, once you up 400 M's, can't you then be like, yo, I'm gonna take the risk? Like, why are they so
That's
scary?
the trick, though.
No, you can't if your expenses and your lifestyle are now drawn up to that level and you're reliant on
That's the
those
trick.
guaranteed checks.
Yep, yep.
But if y'all believe he
I
gonna make
think
true
risk
conscious,
taker got to be in your blood. I
Ooh,
think it
totally
kind of
agree
got
with
to.
that.
It's either
Word.
in you or it's not in you.
100%.
I agree.
You either got the juice or you
That's
don't.
where I agree that it's too late. It's because like if he was gonna do it, he would have done it. Like he doesn't have that heart.
They paid him not to.
That's the
All right,
only
I don't
it's
reason
agree.
that. That's the only reason that they're paying him these numbers for him to
Yeah,
not
I'm paying you
influence
not
the
to be
rest of the
my
creators
competition.
to
Yes.
be independent. I think the whole music
Exactly.
industry damn near collapses if he goes independent.
correct, which is why I think he should
100%.
go independent because the whole creator industry, as of 3 years ago, is going in a direct to consumer type of marketplace. So, if anything, Drake is now late to that party and dependent on an archaic model that is no longer relevant at least in my opinion.
You think LeBron still want to play ball, or the NBA won't let him retire because they don't have nobody to replace him?
Well, no, I think that LeBron, like Tom Brady, got their
Sim-
situation set up already for after they retire. They're gonna give LeBron his team, like they're gonna give Brady his team as a thank you. You're the man.
but you're still playing ball inside the ecosystem. You ain't gonna build in Brady FL like Vince tried to do and got destroyed running that shit again.
Wait,
Okay, last comment, but I just want to say this. The same way people are saying Drake can't go independent, it's like they want him stuck in the major system, the same way fans want you in a system like Joe Rogan or other podcasts. It's the same thing. It's they want you in a place where they're comfortable seeing you.
where they understand it,
Who understands it?
the fans or whoever it wants you to stay in that box.
Yeah, but what is that? Why do they want you trapped in a system where we know it's not advantageous to the artist?
Well, everybody don't know that.
We don't know that, and
People don't
and
know
yeah,
that.
and,
this is
and I can tell you that a lot of times, from a fan perspective, it's not from a creative perspective. We still assume that the major or the institution is more stable and more legitimate. Like I was telling you yesterday, Ian, off air. Like I stayed on TV way longer than I needed to because I still believed that if people saw me on CNN, I would be more legitimate than if they saw me on YouTube. And so, and people will be like, yo, why are you not on TV no more? Why are you on YouTube? And it's the same thing with music and everything else, is that there are people who be like, yo, if Joe Budden were on this podcast network or on this thing that's legible to me, then I know he's good. I know the product is good, and I think he's doing better. A lot of times people really be thinking they rooting for you by keeping you in the matrix instead of pulling you
In the
out.
box. Yo, my God, you are
Right.
That's a
killing that
great
point.
point. Yep.
Yeah, I'm so glad he said that.
100%.
So it is. It's a way to keep you in a box they're comfortable with. But the second you get out of that box and break free of it, it's like now you've downgraded, but your business and your entire infrastructure could have grown 100x, but no one
And
gives a
nobody
shit.
would know that.
No, as the only person who's on this stage who said I don't think he could do independent, I just want to say that was a gross like miscalculation of what my reasoning was. I don't think the same thing for Joe that I think for Drake. I think that Drake has been spoiled and been handheld by the industry. So when a person is spoiled like that, if you just let them go on their own, it could lead to like devastating effects. Like Joe said, it's either in your blood or it's not. And he doesn't give me rebel. He gives me set it up for me and I'm gonna come in and do my thing. So it could be not the best idea for that type of person.
If that's the case, why are they fighting so hard to keep him?
There you go. Good point.
Yeah,
It's
because he definitely his rebel isn't, it doesn't scream out loud, but it's definitely there.
I was gonna say, I feel like Drake feels like he's been rebelling. He raps a lot about how he don't talk to the label. I just show up with the music and they pay me. I don't have to deal with them. I'm not folding to him. In his mind, I think this whole time he has been rebelling. Now there's a whole
But the
conversation
label
to
ain't
see.
there to be your friend. They don't care if you never speak to them. As long as you get the hand in that crack and then we get to bust it down, we ain't got to talk.
I feel like this beef says otherwise. The way that not only the label, but everybody in the industry from media on down has jumped on board to conspire against him, it reeks of hurt feelings. These people are not happy at the way that Drake has been running this shit. And it's mainly because he's not buddy buddy, friendly, and he's fucking y'all wives and girlfriends. Yes, he's doing that as well. So people are just very hurt. It's giving hurt and miserable.
I also have one other thing. I think that what they're really scared of at the label side is Drake is at a place now where if you keep letting him build this repertoire and this catalog, in 2 seconds he becomes more valuable than the entire Universal Music
Absolutely.
infrastructure, and
Yep.
he's going to end up owning everyone else's catalog, putting Lucian out of business, and creating a world of shitstorm for everyone in that building that's
Ian,
lacing their pockets.
Ian, I love that point. My question to you is, if that happens, you don't think nobody would want to put hands and feet or something else in him?
Big facts.
Sure, yeah, I think people would want to, but at a certain
And you
point,
think nobody would do that for close to $1 trillion? No.
no, I think people would want to, but I also think the guy who's worth more than the $1 trillion has more power
he's
than the guy
tangible,
who's
Ian.
scared of losing his job. He's what?
He can be touched. I mean, he's not. It's not like he's. Look at him. You can see that there are things people can do to end him if they want to, and they are showing him, and you can see it.
But they're not ending him. This is a facade. Stop saying that. That is so
They're
offensive
giving
to
What
them
who he
room to
is.
breathe.
have you heard any of that music this summer?
Who
They are
cares
ending
about
him.
that music? I want to tell you guys something. If he never puts out another song ever again in life, his catalog is still bigger than anybody's
Any
that's ever
competition.
existed. Period.
Yep.
Wake
Who
it up.
owns that
Just
Yep.
catalog?
stop. He owns it.
He owns
Yes.
it.
That's the
Stop.
other
And
part
Stop
that we
with.
didn't talk about enough.
Well, no,
Ah,
he no,
wait,
no,
slow
he's trying.
down.
Hold
We
on,
gotta
I
Slow down. I'm
promise.
not.
stop.
All right, great. He owns it, right? We still don't know what that means for Universal's participation in that catalog.
Sure.
15 years from what I heard.
What do you
Right.
What
mean by that?
what'd you
What does
say,
that
Ian?
mean?
15
I
years from what
said
I heard. I floated the little idea. Hey, why not just bring him over to Meta and let y'all launch our platform through him? Oh, we tried.
Dog,
We ain't gonna
yes,
pay a
any of
royalty for
them would
15
give him
years.
$1 billion. He
Yeah,
can't.
easily. You can't
Wait,
Wait,
walk
I'm
away
Ian,
with
sorry,
why
all
did
Joe.
they
these.
Can
say
you
that
tell me
they
what you
tried? What
meant
did
by
they say?
that? Can we go back? What do you
The-
mean by what does that mean
I'm
for
saying, L,
Universal?
you could own the cupcake. If I got a contract that say I get to eat most of the cupcake every day
In perpetuity.
for the
Exactly.
rest
Until
of
you pay
life,
back that 400 mil.
then it don't matter that you own the cupcake.
That's what I was
But
just about
Joe,
to say.
okay.
hold on. Can I say something? If that was true, there is no reason to keep renegotiating. That's my point. That's not true. He's not stuck in the way you think he's stuck.
Wait,
He's
I'm not
stuck
calling. I'm not calling them stuck. One and two, UMG. We ain't heard a peep about them trying to renegotiate.
because you wouldn't hear about that because it's too big. It's way too, and it has a trickle down effect to every other artist that's trying to renegotiate their deal under Lucian. So you're not going to hear about that because then every little artist is going to think they can get more than they deserve, and it's going to create a headache at the universal infrastructure. Period.
If what you were saying is correct, there would be no renegotiation. They would hand him the extra money he's asking for.
Mm,
To
that
keep him
depends on
quiet.
It
what.
would just be
That
over.
depends on what they're asking for from the Drake team. There could be things.
We working on rumors right
Of
now.
course, this is speculation, but what I'm saying is it could be bigger than a cash ask. It could be, hey, Lucian, I appreciate everything you're offering me. I'll accept the 600 million in cash. But what you're not giving me that I really want is 20% equity in
Never
UMPG
gonna
and
happen.
UMG.
They
And
killed.
That's what he's asking
Yeah,
for,
never,
though.
I'm just
That's what he
saying
never.
that's what
deserves,
it
to be
could be.
clear.
And it
If
is
he's
what
Now,
he
why
bringing in
would
all
deserves.
the checks the
Universal
way
give
y'all
him
even
that?
admitting he is, what and this is why I feel like this is a culmination of your entire podcast, Joe. From 2018 on up, you've been talking about creators' equity, owning your own. And I get that that's part of your resentment for Drake because it does feel like he just took the checks. He didn't try to fight. He didn't try to fight the fight. I get that piece. But I think I would expect a little more empathy from you, Joe, because you know it takes that moment, that wake up. He's having his wake up call moment. It just took him all this time because he was always on top. I
I
don't think
agree.
it's over. I think he can
I
still do the
agree.
wake up. He can still, and then who better than Drake? It would have to be Drake to do it. Who else could do it if not him?
That's right. That's right. It doesn't mean I
But
agree with his music right now. It's just the truth has to be put out there. Otherwise, you're just playing off of speculation the whole time. Like this guy is the one guy who could knock over the building.
But he's
Rick, I'm not all the way against that. I'm not all the way against that at all. Actually, that's a best case scenario. It just don't look like we are near
We
that.
got to root for it, though,
It
Joe.
looks like an emotional reaction compounded by emotional reactions. I read through the thing. It don't sound like you have the it don't sound like you have to take the industry down smoking gun in there. What really would have done it was him taking his value away at the right time and making him crumble.
We can't go back. He
Wait
didn't
a minute.
know.
You
He
don't
I
didn't
you
know
know
don't think
then.
hold
He
But
on.
knows
that's why
Hold
now.
it
on, wait a
might be
minute.
too late because
Hold on,
you
I
can't
disagree
do
with
that when
that.
the crown is being actively taken away from you. This is bad timing. You can't do that right now. It's not your place to do that, really, at this point. You should have done
Oh,
that
I
when you were
disagree with
battling
that.
for the.
But she's right. We can't rewind time.
Wait a minute, Joe. You said you didn't see a smoking gun, but in the petition, the smoking gun is not supposed to be in the petition. It's the evidence that he gets if the court grants him that petition that would have the smoking gun in it. So isn't
even
it to
petitioning for the
it?
evidence tells you that he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have it.
Well, he
I
doesn't
love.
He
have to
doesn't
have
have
it
it.
if he knows it exists. That's why you do the petition to get the evidence to use.
Listen, they're gonna make the company pay $10,000 like they do the big companies with a data leak, and they're gonna send them on their merry way. Too much is disrupted. Too much would be disrupted by them even letting Drake find somebody that could spill something. But they did it.
He
Well,
needs
Joe,
us,
Joe, let me
Joe.
ask you a
If we really
question.
want him to win this fight, it's going to take you using your voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just said it was power in words. Power in
Mm-hmm.
words. So we keep speaking like he lost before he even fought the fight, then yeah.
Make the move, it's just going to be a lot harder. And I hear this is still on the tip of like, well, uh, we think he lost before the fight already started. I think what Joe is saying, if I understand him correctly, and if he is, if I do, I agree with him, is that we're in the fourth round of the fight. Drake is just realizing he's in the fight. The time to win the fight was when he was at his peak, when he had the energy and the money and all the things to pull out. It's not impossible to beat the music industry, but you need to play a perfect game. But also, you also need like you need mass action and mass organization led by somebody strong like Drake in his prime.
Right.
And I don't know when the next one of them is coming around.
And that's my point, Mark. This to me is no different than the third party fight that we're having with the Democrats right now. As a Green Party member, hopefully you can appreciate this, but that is the equivalent to me of saying the Party, they might as well give up. They're never going to defeat the Democrats. They might as well tap out. This is the same fight. We can't just give up because it's not the quote prime time. Yeah, the prime time for the third party to rise would have been 2016 Bernie Sanders. I'm clear on that. But does that mean just because they squashed it and he tapped when he tapped, does that mean third party should give up? Or do we have to just keep fighting on with what we got? And should Bernie like this is it's the same argument to me. It's the same one.
Let me ask a question to Mark, Ian, Joe, everybody, all the speakers. What percentage of the internet is comprised of dead or fake users that are bots? He is essentially trying to unveil a Ponzi as we're going into a recession.
20 to 30%.
Like
Yeah.
low end. Like this is a tricky ass game he's playing at a tricky time. And I'm gonna say this too because I was there when the puff shit happened. Man, there's certain families we can't go against publicly at being black. That's a declaration of war.
Yeah, like
I
I
just have
think that Puff had a case with them Ciroc
He
niggas. I
He
think
did. He
definitely
just
did.
did it
everything he
publicly.
was saying was true.
absolutely.
But pow
Yes.
pow.
All right.
Yes.
I just
I
had a
didn't even fucking
question.
know George Clooney owned fucking Casamigos. He definitely had a point.
Talk
Quietly,
about
right?
that. I had a question. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody on the stage. I just had a question. Are we really about to sit up here and be like Aubrey is the new Martin Luther King? Is that what we
Yes, that's
doing?
what they doing. That
Right.
is
What
what
y'all
they
got
doing. I
going
No,
hate
on?
it.
Y'all think he a
I don't
freedom
understand
fighter?
what
What
that
the fuck
I
we
don't
got going
understand.
on?
I
I don't
hate it.
understand what she's saying. What do you
Y'all
mean,
Because
saying
Janae?
everybody is positioning him like he's a
he
hero
a
coming to
freedom
save the game, and
fighter?
I
Like
hate it.
what we got going on? He is not. Like come on, y'all.
It's
Y'all don't think 85% of this is fueled by ego and a sore loser?
absolutely
no,
Joe, wait,
not.
Janae, we're not talking about
Of
that.
Probably
course.
That's not what we're
ninety.
no.
talking
We
about.
we don't think
Okay.
that, and that's
Yeah.
not what
Well,
this
I do
conversation
think
is.
he has a good legal argument. I just think it's kind
Right.
of snitching in a
Right.
way because he's telling on himself. You utilize this. That's
Right.
how you know that's back there. So to
Exactly.
say, hey, y'all can't use this against me. Y'all supposed to use this for me. He's snitching, but
He's
that's some
I
street
feel like
yeah.
bull.
that's
It's
Wait,
all
it's
this
like
is
it's like
this is
what's
him
revisionist. It's
happening.
a bit of
snitching.
revisionist his. It's a
Yes,
bit of
this is him
revisionist history.
snitching
He
for
wasn't
sure.
benefiting.
We are
He
we
never
this
benefited.
is this is so fucked up. Like the
No,
snitching
Ian, let
thing
me
is
tell you
so
why I'm
fucked
calling
up.
it
Oh
snitching.
my
I'm
god.
only calling it snitching because I am of the belief that he utilized all these things. All these things that he's calling cheating now, I believe that Drake utilized all these systems for him to win. So if you utilize,
Absolutely.
hold on, if you utilized all this shit for you to win, and then you say, hold on, wait a minute, you can't use this shit for somebody else to win, that's cheating. Then that's snitching to me. You got in the car, you was with the
I don't
crowd.
even think this is really his point. I think what you're seeing is very topical. It's meant for people who read through the document to jump up and down about, but the real issues that he's digging into are layers and layers and layers so much deeper than what you could read, and I don't think those two things even lead
Well,
you to
Wait a
Ian,
this.
minute, Ian.
can
That
I?
was
But
very
Ian,
vague.
I
Hold
think
on,
that was
hold on,
very
hold on, hold
vague.
on. Ian, that
Absolutely.
was very vague. And I'm the type of person who reads through all the documents. So you're saying you don't think that UMG had agreements with Spotify to boost Drake's shit?
UMG owns Spotify. Don't you guys understand that?
You don't think that they made these same agreements to boost
With
Drake's
Drake.
shit?
Guys,
But
listen to me. UMG and Spotify are one company, even if they're positioned to look like something different.
Yes.
What no one is refuting that. You're missing the point.
They're
You
What
but
didn't
she's
answer my
they
asking.
choose,
question.
they pick and choose who it is gets the
Okay,
spotlight and gets the
right.
attention, which at any
So, but
moment
when
could
it
be
was
any
him,
artist.
why was it not a problem when he was the one they chose?
They didn't
they
choose him. Fans chose him.
What?
What?
Yes,
we
yes,
chose Drake. I
yes.
No,
hate the
we
Y'all
revisionist
didn't.
history.
crazy as
We
hell.
absolutely
See,
didn't
this is
choose
Who
him.
cap.
listens
This
to?
is
Okay.
cap.
I'm
So
gonna
This
so
is
no no
so
cap.
no.
so
I'm
we're
gonna
we're,
say
we're gonna
something.
say
I'm
that.
gonna
So
say
hold on one
something.
second. But Ian, can I throw something out there
Yeah,
while
of
so
course.
you
Go
can
ahead.
answer that while you're speaking? So are we going to? And this is where some of like the conversation gets a bit muddy and it gets we then temper in delusion a little bit. Do we want to believe that there was not a machine behind the skyrocketing success of some of Drake's releases, especially
Yes.
Scorpion? We
That's
don't
what they've
think
been in
that
here trying to
Scorpion.
say.
We do we not remember being on Apple Music and going on Spotify and seeing Drake's face on every playlist you can imagine that had nothing to do with his music, and we're gonna say that that was all fan focused and that was not machine driven.
Let let
I think Ian is going back to so far gone.
let me
Okay,
He must be.
let me
gotta
no
be because
let
I
me
remember I was outside, Joe.
No,
I was
Ian,
when
outside
please
during
answer the
Scorpion.
question. Please
when
answer the
I'm
question,
allowed to
Ian.
respond, I will. Hello? Can I
That
talk?
was fucked up
Go
how you
ahead,
just took
Ian. Go
that
ahead.
pause. Go ahead, Ian. Come on,
Okay.
sir.
We ain't flip. We ain't flip. You can't stun us. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to sun anyone.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Ian.
Okay. Here's my thought. My thought is when Drake became very, very popular and adopted by everyone who loved his music, Apple streaming wasn't even what it was today, what it is today. It was something very different. And Drake was so popular, putting him as the face helped Apple Music. Apple Music didn't necessarily help Drake the way you think it did. I think it's reverse. I think the
Well,
music
I was referencing
consumption.
Spotify.
Okay, Spotify, Apple. I think Drake adds
Okay,
more value to
he
those
does.
platforms than those platforms add to his music consumption.
That I don't agree with that.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
I
that's
don't
true.
I don't
Hold on, wait. I
1000%.
agree with that now, But I think the reason why he was able to get to that level of value is because of the way they poured into him
Yes,
before.
That's not
So
that's
true.
what
yes,
I
that's
agree
That's
with.
true.
not true. What incentive would they have had back then to do that on the
Well,
company
we're not
side?
we're not talking about on the come up, but I do think that there is a level. So for example, a lot of what Drake can rest his hat on has to do with he's been a number one artist for this span of time. He has not had ebbs and flows in his success because there has also been a machine pushing him. So that's what
Absolutely
I'm
incorrect. Absolutely
so
incorrect.
there's no machine behind Drake at all from start to
I
finish
didn't
to
say
from
Hold
that.
on,
from
hold
beginning.
on.
So that's what are we
Okay,
talking
wait, wait.
about? That's what
Hold
I'm
on.
saying.
So
Can I?
wait a minute. Me and Jonay are on the same side. Can you professionals explain to us
Mhm.
how you're coming to the conclusion that the machine wasn't
Here's
responsible
what a
for
That
machine
Drake?
is,
conflating
guys. Let me
argument.
break the news to everyone. A machine just means you have a really good team. That's it. Stop with all the bullshit. Everyone
Yeah.
uses this word machine as if it's like this button someone presses.
Behind the scenes with this giant UMG, what are you saying? I think that's where maybe I'm lost, and I'm okay to learn
Mhm.
today, but help me to understand if
Right.
this man is saying, hey, I have a certain level of relationship equity with Lucian, with UMG, I have this deal, I have these people behind the scenes. Those are not created or developed for just to say I have it. He's using that to his advantage for his career, or has in the past.
But that's all we're talking about is his professional career. It's not like that's
Yeah,
out of context, and it
I,
doesn't
I
make
know.
him a criminal. That makes
It
him.
doesn't. It doesn't. But I think what Elle and I are saying is it's okay when you do it. It's a problem when I do it. Meaning it's okay when you get the benefits of having the relationships and having quote unquote the label connections that would push. Say there was. My thing is okay.
I don't think Drake.
We don't we
Here's
don't
the
think
thing.
that during
Drake
the
has
back to
never.
backs. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I
Go ahead.
don't think the issue is what you're saying. I think the issue is Drake's success is truly built off of people wanting to consume and replay his music. What he's pointing at is a falsified sense of popularity that is being perpetuated by certain platforms that have strategic partnerships with the label. Period. That's
Up a song like that, it increases the organic followship of the song because I've heard this song 20 times. Now I may go and play the song. So it's not that there are no organic listeners, but the false impressions is what led to the organic listeners. So what I'm saying is I think that same machine has been
Mhm.
working for Drake years ago when everything before everybody just loved Drake, but Drake flooded the market and you heard his shit so much that
Mhm.
Drake became a mainstay. So I'm not talking about a magical button that I think you press
right. I
Exactly.
get
that makes
that.
everything blow up. I'm talking about the same system he's describing in that petition. So if he
Absolutely.
benefited from that, which I know he benefited from that because I remember when everybody didn't fucking like
I
Drake.
totally disagree about. Can I just? I want to just make a point. When Drake started becoming popular and his music started flying, Spotify was not even a public company, let
They
alone in business.
used
But you keep
him.
going. But why
Hold
do you
They
keep
on,
going to the
used
hold on.
beginning?
Please, ladies, y'all voices ain't cute. Not when y'all screaming together in unison. Let him land and then attack.
That was hate.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ian. Land so they can fuck you up.
Ian, you're on mute.
There you
Might be a
go.
double mute.
Okay, got it.
Ian, we don't hear you. There you go.
When Drake became popular and his music was being consumed at a level that the music industry had never seen before, companies like Spotify, A, were not only not public companies, B, they were not in business with the labels. They were trying to get in business with the labels so that they can get more of the catalog on their services. What they
Okay, so
so what
So Ian, I think that's a point that we all are on the same page about. No one is arguing that he had a grassroots level build to his career. No one is saying that. What we're saying at some point from that point in time to today,
mhm,
he has reaped the benefits of having relationships at UMG
mhm.
and allowing those relationships to push his career. That's all people are saying, and
Ian
that's
is
almost
trying to
kind of
add
being
very important
danced around.
nuance to that
But I don't
argument.
care.
I
But
wish
that's
we
not. But
should
that's
let
not.
him do that.
Well, I also can speak and I wanted to interject what we're saying. So if he wants to add additional detail, that's okay. But you can't refute what we're saying by answering a point that's not being asked. So what we're talking about is at a certain point in his career, he has had the benefits.
Ian, if
Larry
you could please
Jackson
continue
told
adding the
us.
nuance that you were adding, because I think it's very relevant to the points that are being made.
Well, again, I was asking a specific question. So again, Ian, do you believe that at any point in his career he has had the support of the industry or a machine or whatever you want to consider it? You don't think at any point?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
Okay.
is the industry needed him more than he needed the industry.
Well, let's be
This
clear.
Okay,
version
cool.
of the
And
Let's be
industry
also,
did
clear.
hold
not
on, let me
exist
say
when
something
Drake got
else.
started. Drake
Hold
was
on,
the
let me say
catalyst
something
to
else.
start this version of the industry. They waited until he had to step on his leverage. This is why they're doing this for Kendrick Lamar right now. This is why the lawsuit is happening. So y'all are
This is hate.
arguing that,
Who
okay, you
who is this?
benefited
Because
from this.
she's right.
Well, he
Who
didn't
is this?
benefit
That's
from it
Grandpa
because he
Rick.
created it. They
That's
created it
Rick.
on Drake's back. That is the point Ian's
Let's
trying to
go,
make right
Rick.
now.
Okay,
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 and,
let's
hold
and
be
on. Wait,
again,
hold
so
clear.
on. Let me say
okay,
something.
I want to say
Ian
something,
is
but do
leaning
we
real
think
quick, real
that
quick.
Drake
Ian is
y'all
leaning
crazy
on
as shit?
real quick. Ian is leaning on Spotify, and he has a good point of when Spotify went public.
Correct.
But Spotify is not the only thing named in this petition
Thank
as far
you.
as tactics to blow up this music. There are other tactics names, shit with influencers, changing the percentages that
Payola.
there's different steps and standards of practice that are explained in this petition. And I'm saying Drake is able to outline those standards because they've been doing that shit for him.
You're
That's how he
you're you're
knows what the
only
fuck it
saying
is.
that because Joe said that, and I'm sorry.
First
What?
of all, I didn't hear Joe say that, Ian, and I do love how you always go back to Big and Joe up. I agree with Joe, I guess, but
And I
Drake
respect your
benefited from that
opinion,
shit.
just so you know, Al.
Thank you, Ian. But Drake benefited from that.
I agree with what Elle said. I agree with what Ian is saying. Um, that's all I got.
I just
I agree with both of
But I
y'all.
do agree
I
that
do.
now Drake is. I think that now, okay. I think the industry needs Drake, but I think the industry made Drake because they knew they were going to need him.
And
Like, I don't know if I'm
thank
I
wording
you.
have
it the right
another
way.
point here that I think could be
Go ahead,
helpful
Ian.
contextually. I think Drake is looking at his career as an arc, and I think he's looking at all the businesses that he's helped make public Goliaths, and
Facts.
he's saying, I've had enough. Not only did I bring trillions into Universal Music Group, I helped Universal merge and create an alternative additional revenue
I
stream
helped
with
Apple
Spotify.
tremendously.
I
Yeah, that's the
This
house
is
that Drake
Drake's
Whoa,
built.
what
Yeah,
house.
at this
happened?
He
point.
helped, and he's also funding whatever other hit artists that are under that label that Lucian.
That's the part where I get a little tricky. I muted the stage. That's just the music business.
Right.
If artist A is keeping the lights on, then yes, artist C, we're running his project with the money we made from artist A. That's been the lay of the land. I don't. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry, I didn't unmute it. Yeah, that's been
I
the
get
lay of the
that. But
land.
what I'm saying is there's a certain point when you don't have to accept terms the way they're presented to you when you are that X factor. And I think he's reached that point where he's like, look, if you quietly
That's
can't
naive.
address what?
Ian,
Wait,
But
go
please
ahead.
I
Finish,
finish.
get.
Ian.
Do not
Finish,
stop.
Ian. Ian,
No,
please
Please.
finish.
finish.
No, finish the
Yeah,
point because
finish.
this is
Yeah.
Yeah,
progressing.
go ahead, Ian.
Hmm.
I think he's reached a point where he sees the kind of intrinsic and halo effect value that he's having on the entire industry as a
Facts.
whole. And he's like, enough is enough. I'm no longer asking you, Lucian, and Universal for some $500 million piggy bank. I want a piece of the house
When I
forever.
fucking made y'all $28 billion.
Right. Give me a piece of the house so that if I never make another record again, you are going to address the catalog and my impact in the industry. Everything I've done musically, halo effect on the alternative businesses, the new verticals I've helped create, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And until that happens, I'm going to make a fucking stink.
And what they did in response, and this is why you get a lawsuit, instead of working with him on that request, they decided to use all these tricks to promote a song calling him a pedophile, to malign his fucking character, and undercut his leverage in that argument.
But
This is why it's a lawsuit.
but
That's
can
So
I
that's
ask
the
a
business.
difference
question?
that y'all
But
are
can I
not
ask a
addressing.
question to? Can I ask a question to Ian? So, Ian, you believe that this playbook just was created with Drake? You don't think they've done the same to all of the greats that have made a fuss?
This has
So that's
never
no, no,
happened
no, no,
in
no, no.
history
Listen, but
ever.
again,
This
Ian,
happened to Michael Jackson.
I've let you land several times, but can somebody else land so you can then answer after the point's made?
I just put my seatbelt on. Go ahead, Lamb.
Okay. So what I'm saying
You are so funny. Go ahead.
so
I liked it. I liked it.
what I'm saying is, do we believe that the moment that you ruffle feathers at the top, that Drake is the first person to experience that industry then collapsing on him? It's happened to
No,
Michael Jackson. What
Prince,
are we talking about? These are the
Sam
things that have
Cooke.
happened to the greats that have spoken out against the machine, quote unquote. I know you guys hate that word, but the machine that they once partnered with. This is nothing new. And I think to your point, if Drake is now saying, okay, this is happening to me, and now I want to flip the industry on its head, I think it is okay for people that are watching and speculating to say, but you're kind of doing it once you've already reaped the full benefit and kind of, drain the system of all of what you could have gotten. Because my thing is, why wait until a certified pedophile line for you to say, okay, it's time for me to be independent after you've just signed this crazy deal and you were
Mhm.
completely fine with the benefits until it made you look
But he
crazy?
didn't know.
I,
He
I
wasn't
understand.
He
Okay.
aware.
didn't know until
Okay.
that. He didn't know. He thought that Lucian's my man, the company's
Mm-hmm.
behind me, Kendrick. But he didn't know it was like this.
Yep.
And
Well,
And
I
to
got a
further
separate
to
I got a
further
separate
counter
question.
that point, does that mean just because he previously benefited, if we're acknowledging this has happened to artists in the past, shouldn't now with the information we have make a better decision than audiences have in the past to
yes,
side with the artist, to back the artist?
yes.
Because we've seen how this fight goes. They try to kill him, they call him a pedophile, they do all this stuff to malign his character, ruin his reputation, ruin his income earning potential, all this other stuff. This is the time for us as the audience to get smarter than we have been in the past.
Yes.
I don't
Yes,
know,
people are
Rick.
No,
being
no,
So
victim
wait,
no,
in the
wait,
no,
wait,
past,
wait,
no,
wait,
but
wait,
now
wait,
no,
we
wait,
no,
wait,
now
no.
wait,
we looking to
Rick.
go
Be-
down
Wait,
these
let me
lynch
reply to
trains.
Rick really quickly. Rick, I agree with everything you just said. I want to add, you don't think that would have applied to Drake as well? I said this on the pod. If he knew the
yes, it
fight
would
that he
have.
was really up against, it ain't time to fuck everybody's baby mama.
Facts.
Absolutely.
And
It
get
ain't
into it
time
with
to do
Jackie.
all
I
of this
Whale
agree,
other.
and
It's
but
Half
You
it's
Moon
not.
this
fighting
is
the
this
It's
is
biggest
not.
big
Goliath
emotion. We're
in
talking about
music.
No,
emotionalism. This
that's
is bigger than
no,
your
Rick.
fucking
No,
baby
I'm
No,
not.
I
mama.
think
We're
that's
talking
a
about
great point.
numbers.
No, Rick, I'm not. You're not listening. I don't care who he fucks, but you got to know who you're fighting. There's
Thank
no time
you.
for this other shit
Thank
if you
you.
fighting the biggest nigga in music. There's no
Absolutely.
I
time for
agree
nothing
with
Yeah, because
Joe
else.
I
here.
feel like the fight that you describing, it requires somewhat of a underdog positioning. And Drake has made sure
Absolutely.
not to present himself as an underdog. He's been going out of his way to shit on niggas forever. So
You
if you
dangle
just
nothing but
shitting
number
on
ones
niggas,
in
shitting
people's
on niggas,
faces.
shitting
It's
on
like, what
He
is
niggas
we
comes
talking
against
forever,
about?
you
capitalist
can't then
corporations,
hold
he
on, listen, Rick.
automatically is the
Listen, Rick.
underdog.
No, I'm talking about the positioning. You can't shit on niggas, shit on niggas, shit on niggas, and then turn around and say, hey, everybody come with me. We about to bring this shit down because now I'm a
Nope, you
victim.
on your
No,
own.
that don't
You
fucking
on your
work
own.
like that. It don't
Period.
work like that. And I also think y'all misrepresented Drake. Yes, Drake has a market share. Yes, the industry is on Drake's back. But when y'all say Drake, I'm thinking about Drake, the brand. And that brand come with teams, that come with a whole shitload of people who are doing work, making deals in order to make him look good. It's not just Drake himself. It's not just Aubrey Graham himself. He's just so
Yeah,
amazing.
but
He's just
we
making these
understand
amazing
that.
songs.
We
It's
understand
not that.
that.
It's a
Yeah,
team.
we never
So
argued
Yeah,
that. Every
okay,
we
artist
so
got
has a
that
that
part.
brand.
team is coming from Universal. So you can't
No,
then
it's
turn around and
not.
say,
No,
No, it
that's
is
where you're
No,
not.
no,
wrong.
no,
It's
no, no,
okay,
no,
well
no, no,
maybe that's
no.
where I'm wrong
He
at.
he does have
Maybe
his
that's
own
where I'm wrong
team.
at.
They have a team, and he has a team.
And which team do you think is more responsible for the success of Drake? His team or
His
Universal's team?
own.
his team. They
Both.
cannot boost bad music. Y'all finna learn this with Kendrick Lamar. They can only do so much if the product is not
Watch your
good.
Facts.
mouth,
Yo,
Okay,
this
Grandpa
girl
Well,
Rick.
is
yeah, what are we
crazy.
talking
Like
about?
this,
Kendrick
Watch
this,
your
Lamar.
this,
mouth,
this,
Joe,
Rick.
What are
this.
leave
you talking?
Rick
Because
It's
alone.
not.
Drake,
Like,
sir.
let
Shout
her
to
cook.
Rick,
No,
Like,
don't
yo.
tell
okay,
us
Hey,
nothing.
so
Yeah,
Rick.
Drake
mind
boost
your
the track.
business. Mind
Drake
your
boost
yeah,
the
no,
business.
track.
because that's another thing that's capped. Trying to act like not like us don't
Is
actually
right.
slap, and that's why
Exactly.
motherfuckers.
All right, I muted this because we're past a music talk. Who cares what music we like or don't like? It's bigger than that. Go ahead.
How we gonna go ahead if that's what we was talking about?
Well,
Well, I
stop
would
talking
like
All
to
about
right,
ask a
that.
cool.
question. Can I ask a
Segways.
question? I want to ask a question. So,
I only
do we
brought
feel
that up.
that? Do we feel like Drake is bigger than UMG in terms of
Yes.
Well, let me just finish the question.
No,
Do we feel Drake is bigger than UMG impact, power, and authority within this industry?
no,
No.
no, no, no,
And
no.
because of AI, no. If I got all your fucking rights and I can repurpose all your music,
Thank you. So
They
so
don't
Ian,
have
ask
so
his
for that.
so
They
rights.
Ian,
don't
what?
have
No,
his
I want
rights. They
Ian.
don't have his
I'm
rights.
telling you personally from conversations I had with somebody in his team who was next to him yesterday. There's a reason he can't walk. Meta offered him $2.5 billion. He can't take it because he can't take all the fucking music. That's why Joe brought up that master's question. What is the master's worth if you can't walk out and get what you? I called my guy before. Yo, what's up with the Drake shit? Can we? I don't know. I know people around him. Yeah, we offered him too, but can't
But
walk yet.
No,
let
he
me
can
help you
walk
guys with
out when the
something
deal
though.
is
He
over.
can't
The
walk
deal been
out.
over.
He may not be
He
able to
still
walk
can't
out,
walk.
but he could
He
do
can't
something
walk.
else.
They're not letting that kid walk.
Hmm.
There's threats on this motherfucker life like right now,
Anywhere.
anytime.
They would try to end him. They would rather see him gone than let him walk out the
That's
door.
that's
And
not
So
this
then
true.
is
why
why
make
we
an
need to. This is
enemy?
why he's
So
a
why make
martyr.
an enemy of a man a martyr? Y'all are so dramatic. Why
Wait, am I
so
misunderstanding this?
I
why
don't
Am
know
I
if I had
why
misunderstanding
clarified
this?
it because
Hold
that's
on,
what
hold
y'all
on.
called him before. But this is
Can
why.
y'all
This is
tell
what
me if
makes
I'm
this a martyr
misunderstanding
like
this?
fight because he
No, it's
can't
not.
just freely walk out the door. They're trying to turn him into a slave
but
and pay him
he
less than what he's
chose
worth.
that.
That's
He
not
chose
right.
slavery. He
That nigga
chose
Trying
chose
to
to be
turn
slavery.
a
him.
slave so
What
he
are we
can
talking
shit on
about? He
niggas.
chose it.
Y'all still on level 1. Can we bring it up to level 3? I
Guys,
got
No,
it. He
No,
cheat
you.
on
you're on
niggas.
level. You
He
on
guys,
talk
ground
shit to
Okay,
him.
zero
He
because
fucked
we
their
Yeah,
already
baby
got
let's
mama.
go to
hold
the
on.
Blah,
next
blah, blah. We
tier.
don't care.
Joe, do the
Fuck
mute
the
thing.
Yo,
caption.
let Rick land so she could stop telling us we on level one. Go ahead, Rick.
The level 3 argument here is that yes, y'all are right. He didn't do everything he was supposed to do to get the army behind him. I agree. It was poor strategy. Yes, he's behind on the curve. Yes, he should have been on this in 26. Joe, yes, you were right. You've been arguing this argument on your podcast for 8 fucking years now. You was talking about he should have went indie when he re-signed the deal. We heard it. You were right. Is that what y'all want to hear? Okay, Joe, you're right. But we're here now. It's 2024. They trying to turn this man into a slave after they built it on his back. And if he don't want to be their slave, they're gonna turn him into a fucking pedophile and everything else in the media. That's not okay. We
Well,
cannot
all
let
right, wait.
that.
This is
The
my
culture should not let
Rick.
that. Because it's Drake today is gonna be somebody else tomorrow. They're gonna do it to Kendrick tomorrow. If they get it off on Drake, then they can get it off on any fucking body. And y'all keep letting them rape and rob us.
but
This is exact shit,
it
and we
can't
know
happen
it's
to
happening. But
Kendrick.
because we
It
don't
can't
like Drake,
happen
we
to
gonna let him
Kendrick
get it
because
off.
Kendrick's already
That's fucked
independent. So what you
up.
talking about? Kendrick would
Where's
never
Rick?
sign a deal. Kendrick would never
I want
sign
to
a
sign
deal.
Grandpa Rick.
Of course you do, because she
I
has your
want to sign
side. So
Grandpa Rick.
here's the thing. The again, now you want to enslave her? Is that what you're trying to say?
What?
Don't
Whoa,
do
whoa,
it.
whoa,
Come on,
whoa.
don't do
Yeah, that
that,
was
It,
please.
aggressive. That was
Please, let's
aggressive.
be into it. Let me
trust me.
She had
apologize
a
for
good
him. Hold
point, but
on.
whoa, it's the holidays.
But what I'm just saying to the point that Grandpa Rick is making. Okay, cool. But what I'm saying is, nobody else is making those types of deals. People are doing independent imprints already. Drake is the only one in bed the way he was with UMG.
No, he's not.
What?
He
Y'all
got
don't
in
think
bed with
y'all
them
wait,
5 years ago.
but
Clearly,
y'all
Okay,
don't
we're
think
but
already established he didn't know what he did when he did it. If you listen to the pod
right.
today,
Rick,
when
I
he
think
took
you
the
got a bad
400, he
connection.
didn't know.
Can y'all hear
Okay,
her
guys.
clearly or no?
No,
Not
I can
clearly,
hear
no.
her.
yeah, I can hear her. I can hear her
Oh, then
I
clearly.
that's
couldn't
me.
hear
My
her
bad.
clearly.
Yeah, you guys don't think that Drake isn't fully aware of what can potentially be revealed from this
Yeah,
lawsuit?
he's aware.
He's fully aware of that. So
He's
I think
fully
he's
aware.
willing to take the risk.
And you got to commend him for that, to know your life is on the line while you fighting this
I
battle.
totally agree. That's the superpower he has is that he knows what's going on. He has
Do
decisions
y'all
to
think
make.
there's a way where he still gets his big money from them even during all of this?
Yes.
Never.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Go
Yes,
up
I
there,
think
I'm gonna
so.
be
kiss
honest.
that ring,
They
say
make it
sorry.
easier for you to capitulate than to fight. They're gonna try
Yep.
to. They're gonna always make it easier for you to just bend over before they let
That's
you
the
walk
tricky
out the
part for
door.
me.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I say
But I
they're
wonder
gonna
how
give
that
him
could
some plus
happen.
some.
But how
But
can
when you
that
say
happen
big money,
if he's
another
on?
400 or the 2 billion he's asking for?
But I have a question. How
What
could that
he's
happen
asking for.
if he's doing the whole
Oh no.
payola?
No. Fuck no, Joe
I don't
Budden.
know. I don't get that part.
No. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. The answer is no. Fuck no, he's not getting no 2 billion now. Really? Why would they do
He's
that?
gonna get whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I
Not from
guarantee it.
UMG.
After
Okay,
he's saying
not
that
from
he
UMG.
yeah,
He's
that's what I'm
getting
saying.
whatever he wants from Lucian. That's a fact.
So, Ian, you think
Oh,
he's going to be able to renegotiate this $400 million deal to a $2 billion deal after this lawsuit?
Absolutely. Because guess
Uh-uh.
what? Let me tell you
Wow.
something. Regardless of what he's saying or what's being said in the media right now, the rights to the music and the income streams that are generated from them are all that the label gives a shit about.
Wait, hold on. Can somebody mute? If you're not talking, can you mute? Because you got a crazy feedback. Whoever it is. If you're not talking and your mic is off mute, please mute it. Go ahead, Ian.
How come women being polite sound so sassy and spicy? Go ahead,
Did
Ian.
I sound sassy? I'm just trying to be
Yeah,
Oh
I
so
it's
love
not
it
just
nice.
you
so
though.
much.
God.
It's not just you.
I love it
Yeah,
so
because
much.
Joe
I'm trying to
just
be
called
so
me
nice. Y'all heard
aggressive.
the feedback, right?
I
Y'all heard
heard
the
it.
feedback, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
good.
called me
there's too many people
aggressive 2 minutes
yelling.
ago. Oh, Ian, you in this condescending tone. I'm about to
Here
be on you.
come.
Stop,
I'm about to be
stop,
on you.
stop.
Yeah, I be stealing your condescending tone sometimes.
Okay,
Like, calm
But
It's
down.
called
okay.
passion, guys. It's called
I
passion.
It
know,
is.
I
It
know,
It's
is.
just
I know.
is.
You know,
right,
I'm,
okay.
I
So
I
love you
call
guys
cap on that
anyways.
shit you just said.
What?
I
which
don't think you. I don't think you truly believe that.
Oh, I absolutely believe it.
He
Me and
wait,
you
what
it's
was
do
the
too
cap?
much
impossible
business for
for
me to
him to
think that you
give
believe that.
facts. He's
Joe,
not. They're not giving him two after he filed his fucking
I don't
petition.
know
Like,
what the
I don't get
number is
that.
because I don't understand the asset, the entire asset class that he has that he's offering Universal. But let me just say, whatever he really wants, he is going to get. There is value that is calculated in ways that the general public has no idea how it's done and how they're monetizing off of his music, his market share, his lure to get other
My
artists to
question to
sign.
you, Ian, because I understand all of that,
Hmm.
is now I'll bring it back to us.
Okay.
The we were the hottest thing at Spotify, and then they pushed us down to devalue us while we knew we were still hotter than all of those people.
Hmm.
The people that he's dealing with,
Hmm.
this is part of his beef, have a large hand in where his value sits.
That's an illusion in my head. Because
Oh,
let me explain it to you. That's what they did to us. And instead of us believing what they told us our value was, what did you and I do?
the same thing I'm telling him to do.
Okay.
Wait, but it wasn't true in your case. So Ian,
And
maybe
it's
you're
not and it's
biased
not
because of
true in
what.
his case. That's the
Yes, it
point.
is.
What's
I
true?
think maybe you're biased
He's
because of
never
what
gonna
you went
know,
through.
Ian, if he don't go outside.
That's my point.
Right.
What
That's
if
what the
he's
100 gigs is about.
what if he has already been outside? And what I'm
They
saying,
snatched that 100 gigs off the internet so
So
fast.
fast.
It's up
Yep.
right now. Just watching it.
okay.
That's why I don't want to hear all that shit y'all say. Oh, he owns it. He does what he wants. No, the fuck he
Joe,
does
it's up
not.
I'm
right
not
No,
now.
wait,
saying
He
no.
that.
does
He
not.
owns his masters, but he's renting it out. Basically, it's almost like
It's a
refinancing your
lease.
house. Like
It's a
you
It is
own
lease.
your
very
house,
much,
but you
very
you
much so.
refinance. Yeah. So until they
Yes.
recoup, then they kind of they don't own it, but they're renting it until they recoup. Am I
No,
incorrect?
you're
If
absolutely
you
right.
refinance, that means you still owe.
Yeah, he owns the
That's
copyrights
what
and the
he's
masters
saying, but
to
he's
all
not
his
getting any
shit.
value out of it because they still have their hand in the pot. I think that's what she's
Ian, I
trying to
want to
say.
But
address
he
your
And he
point.
can't and he
negotiated
can't
that.
change renters.
Exactly.
No, I don't agree.
Ian,
So,
I appreciate your
So
optimism.
Ian, if you don't agree, then why won't he? We already established
right.
that he can get whatever he want from whoever he want. So what's the holdup?
The holdup there's a couple of reasons. One is at an artist at his scale, you need distribution and the manpower to actually work the assets correctly. And so that only limits you to call it a handful of different partners that you could be with that forget about the money portion of it, but that can handle the scale of your business. The other piece of it is he may own all his masters, but in the moment, he may be waiting for the licensing rights to be up with Universal so that he could take his entire boatload and move it to one place. But the reality is, the bigger loss and potential loss for Universal and the major label system is if he starts hinting at going independent, it's more detrimental than him leaving and going independent because of the implications it has on future artists,
Right.
not today, future artists. That trickle down effect could destroy the exact institution that is UMG today. It may take
So,
10 years, it may take 20 years.
Well, not if they destroy him first.
They're
right.
not going to
So
destroy
Wait,
him.
wait,
Ian,
Exactly.
did
can I ask
Ian
you a
Ian,
just
you're
say
question?
very
him?
optimistic, but
No,
this
Ian.
does
Did
not
Yeah.
turn
Ian
out
just
well for
say
black
him
artists.
hinting at it
I'm
is
just
And
bigger
I
telling
was
than
you.
gonna
him
say
doing it?
that.
Yes,
I was
the
gonna
hint
say
is
that.
bigger than the action. Yes.
So Ian, can I ask you a question? Do you think
Hell
that
no.
Drake has now ruined it for other big name artists to have a seat at the table because now he's doing an expose?
No, I don't
What
think he.
seats?
What's
What?
what seat does he have, or is he fighting
You
for a seat?
Yes, he's trying to get
don't
the
believe
seat.
he
They
has
don't
a
want to
seat at
give
the
him the seat.
table?
They ruined his character.
That's the point
Y'all
I'm
don't think
saying.
that has happened? What? I'm
He is
so
No,
fighting
confused.
for
no, I
the
don't.
So
seat.
if he's bigger, if
No,
he's
he
I
big,
does
don't.
That's the
not.
whole
Because
this
when
the
you
level
say,
3 conversation
wait,
we're
hold on,
having.
Jonay. When you
no,
say seat at the
but
table, I think you're
but
talking
I was
about.
asking. I was
But are you talking about ownership in Universal?
Correct.
Yes, a
no,
Is that
I'm
board
what you're
talking
seat,
talking
about
about?
just
ownership, share, stuff like that.
No, no,
You're
he
talking
has
about
no
what,
No,
class
Jonas?
well,
A
it was
shares,
okay. Hold on,
no
hold on, hold on,
equity.
hold on, hold on, hold on.
I already
Did
think
y'all ask Rick or me? Were y'all
I
asking
asked
me to clarify
Jonas.
what I meant or what? Okay, thank
all
you.
I was.
So
We
what
Oh,
asked
I
you,
was
but we
talking
wanted to hear
about
Rick
was
answer. Oh.
That's facts.
okay, well, yeah, then
I'm
then
joking.
ask
Go
her next
ahead.
time.
Go ahead, Jonas.
So what I was saying was when I'm saying a seat at the table, I'm talking about his seat in the table when it's a certain level of a deal and relationship and equity splits and shares when it comes to UMG. So I don't think that Drake has the average deal like an artist. He didn't have the average deal with artists. To your point, Ian, he doesn't have the average deal when he was working with Apple. He doesn't have the average thing with Spotify. Do you think all of those opportunities for him to peek behind the screen are now done because now he's revealing things that he became
absolutely
privy to
not.
because of
No,
his relationship?
he's still gonna have
Okay.
access to that no matter what because he is a one of
And I
one.
say I know he is. I'm saying, will that stop it
No,
for others?
absolutely
Is what
not.
I'm
Because
saying.
guess what, guys?
It
Okay.
If
definitely
that,
will.
oh,
Dog,
sorry, go
they
ahead.
killed DEI worldwide. You think they're gonna give Drake a board seat to one of the most important companies in the world while they're actively killing
Worldwide, it was
diversity
crazy.
inclusion?
Yeah, and they
Walmart
think
just announced
yes.
they're coming up off their D&I
That's why.
initiative.
They
That's
just
why
said
I'm
yes.
done
So
having
that
this
so
talk
Ian,
with like just
that's why
casual
I'm glad
music
Black
fans.
Ian just said it. Like the
Dog, they're killing
Ian,
this shit at
the other
they've been
Ian,
stepping
the
on his
other Ian is
rollout.
saying my
I,
exact
No,
point. Thank
what?
you.
I'm confused. What's the
not
point?
The
so.
other was
No, not
shady.
you. The other
Yeah, that
The
Ian.
other
was.
The
was
I
shady,
too
other
am
man.
Come
confused.
on, I know the other, you're my guy. It's my guy.
Ian,
But
Black
if they're
Ian.
cutting DEI worldwide, and he talked shit to Lucian 2 years ago, if he was
What
going
does
to get that
DEI have to
equity,
do with this?
The reason
because
they
he's
don't want
asking
him
for
up on
equity
that
in all
board.
these
Why
deals.
not just say yes to Drake? Drake deserves it.
That
He
is
put
not
in
the
the work. He
same
made the
shit.
money. Just give him what the fuck he wants. No, they're
Life
not
is
going to give
not
it to
It's
him.
not
about
You know
what
about
you
the
why?
money,
deserve.
guys. Guys,
It's
this
not
isn't a
about what you
money. This
deserve.
is
He wants
about
equity.
power. This is about
Yes.
power. It's not about money. He's got the money. This
It's
is
the
Mhm.
about they
board.
don't
He wants to
want
Okay.
be
him.
he wants to
Yeah,
be a member of the board. He wants to
that's
have
right.
shares. He wants all the
Yeah, that's
things
what
and
I'm
they don't want to give
thinking.
him that because he's black. I'm going to
All
just
right,
say
so
it.
we
He's
all agree.
biracial. They don't
That's
want
what
him
We
to
that's
give
what
all
him
I'm
that
thinking.
agree.
That's
level.
what I
Yeah.
It is
agree
what it
with.
is.
I
I
agree
don't,
with that.
and
I
I
agree
also
with
don't
that.
know
That's
if
what I'm
it's
saying.
race. I don't know if it's race. I think it's
And you're
just they
saying
don't.
that from a place
Ian,
of privilege.
Ian, what
Here
the
you
Don't
fuck
touch my
are you
go.
dog,
Here
talking
you
about,
Thanksgiving.
go.
Ian? We're
Come
in
on, use my
America.
black card
It's
real quick.
race.
Can I
Oh
just
God.
finish what I'm saying?
Yes, after we exclaim.
No.
Hell.
No, I can't.
Hey,
I'm gonna get attacked. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
Ian.
nothing.
No,
no,
Go
Ian.
I'll
Go
just,
ahead,
ahead.
I'll
No,
Go
just,
Ian.
go
I'll
ahead.
just
ahead,
say
Ian.
this.
Go
You'll
ahead.
be all
DEI
right.
It's okay. We
worldwide
can do
means
without it because if it's
Horrible,
going to be
buddy.
Nah,
some
Joe, I've
pandering,
learned my
Ian,
lesson,
you'll
buddy. I've
survive,
learned my
Ian.
lesson.
You
white
don't think it's
splaining, we don't
about
want to hear
race
it.
because of what? How many black people are on the board?
I can't tell you how many black people are on the board of Universal. I'm just telling you that I
Of
don't think they
course.
want. What do you mean, of course? Like I work
No, Ian,
there. I
keep
don't.
going. Don't get distracted. You don't think
Yeah, come
what?
on, let's be nice. Breathe in deep, buddy.
Breathe it
Come on,
out. There you
come
go.
on.
Now
I'm,
finish what you were saying.
Woosah.
We here for you.
You can
I
do it,
got your
Ian.
back.
I'm
You
rubbing
can
my
use my black
earlobe.
card.
Joe,
Ian.
is it?
Rub it.
Should I stay
Woosah.
away from this
Hey,
show?
hey, 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 run for your
No, go
life.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I think there's a certain type of person that is on the board of these companies, call it Universal Music or the major label institutions or major movie studios. And the second that somebody from a rank below them has the opportunity to come in and take the seat that they occupy, it becomes a threat to them, not because of the money they may benefit from, but because of the decision making power that they will now have access to. And that decision making power isn't a threat financially, it's a threat to that person's job who sits next to them. Because what if they find out that the other board members who are sitting there that have been cashing out for decades and decades and decades actually have no purpose and no value other than to be the vultures they may be?
And we know that. We're
So you
saying
think it's a
we're saying
class
what is the
issue?
threat? Why does Drake this is why Ye talked about this. When they start calling them rappers to put them in their place, that's why they don't want Drake up there. So the reason he's a threat to them because he's a quote rapper. What do you think that's a
Is
euphemism
somebody
for,
talking?
Ian?
Yes, Rick is talking.
Yeah,
I'm
Grandpa
gonna go
Rick
down there.
was.
I'm gonna go down
I
there.
can't hear, but it's fine.
So Ian, you believe it's a class issue more so than a
I
race
think it's a
issue?
socio-economic issue more than anything.
Okay, well
Okay,
there is some
so
intersection.
Ian, do
Hold on
you
one
not
second, Jonette.
know? Yeah,
There is some
exactly. Exactly.
intersectionality with socioeconomic issues and race. Are
Yeah,
you
and
aware of
that,
that?
of course, that I agree with
Okay.
100,000%. And it could very well be a race issue. I just don't want to jump to that right away. I think it's more of a structural issue and a socioeconomic issue. And we don't give these seats up. It's like a Supreme Court justice. They fucking rule until they're 300 years old.
They
It's
don't want
that
black people
mentality.
either.
I understand what you're saying. I just,
Right.
Ian, I do understand what you're saying. I just always find it interesting how people don't want to do the conspiracy theory with race, but they want to do it with class. I
No,
always find that
I'm
interesting.
saying
Everything
it
else.
could very well be race. Don't
No,
take
no,
it
no. I
away.
get what you say.
Right.
No, Ian, I totally understand what you're saying and why you said it.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
just also commenting that it's always
Mhm.
interesting to me that people believe in the boogeyman of class. We don't want y'all up here because y'all not of our ilk. But then when it's about race, sometimes they're like, well, no, nobody's tripping like
I,
that. Like
yeah, you're
it's
right.
kind of the
You're
same
right.
mentality.
Yeah, you're right. I just think it's really an insecurity thing, and it's like if you let someone get that
Hmm.
power that you don't look at as your equal, and then they get that seat, they have the ability. It's really like an insecurity. They look at it and go, "Oh shit, I could now be removed from somebody I let in."
Right.
Yeah, it's like the cool
And
club.
let me just say this, Ian. I want to say this though, Ian. I believe, based off of even what people have said, and this is me giving a little bit of credence to Drake, even though I don't do that often. He is the closest person in terms of qualifications, in terms of transcending the industry that we have. And so, if they still view him as quite not up to par, then everything that everybody is trying to communicate, I think, is the elephant in the
Hmm.
room of why
Right.
not him? Because he has transcended, he has
Yeah, I can
divine power,
answer
he
why not
has.
him.
Please do.
Go
Easily.
ahead.
Because when it was him, he ran around selling ass and being a work for hire for everybody to milk him dry. And now he's standing there saying, I'm Drake. And they like, we finished. We got it. We finished.
Right. They already
You made
mined the
all of us,
gold.
you made all of us all the money in the world already. We done.
And
He missed his moment on the cap
So
table.
you
For
think
those
he?
who get
Oh,
mad,
okay.
he missed his moment to be on the cap table.
But I think that would only be true if he doesn't still have some leverage. I still think Drake has superstar power, and if he put
What
out,
leverage do you have?
he
What
still
leverage
is.
do you think he has?
He
But a
is
Wait,
Drake.
superstar, yeah,
name
superstar
that
doesn't matter when
leverage,
it comes to
please.
board
I
members.
am Drake. If I put out a super project, that shit is going to blow. He's still Drake. If he
The
put his face,
Universal
if he
can
put his
take losses for the next 5 years and watch that money to Spotify, and nobody, because of all the deregulation, no one will ever
Hmm.
catch wind.
Yeah, and I think to the point that I was saying is that him being saying I'm Drake just makes you a cash cow. It doesn't make you a colleague. And I think his mindset or his team or his strategy, I think maybe that's what Joe might be pointing to. I
I
don't
mean,
know if
he
that's
No,
what
tried
she's
to
Joe's
with
pointing
Apple,
to,
absolutely
and
but
right.
I
Apple laughed
think
And
him out
he's
the
the
door.
last one to notice. He's sitting there saying, hey, I'm Drake. But they like,
but that doesn't
like, we
matter when you're
already
talking
fucked you,
yeah.
like that.
nigga.
Yeah, you have to have a competitive advantage to show, okay, I'm also an executive. You can be the cash
And
cow, but you have to have a strategic mind to be an executive and make power moves behind the scenes, which is required when you're having a
But
seat at the table.
it doesn't
I
help with
disagree
him
with that.
getting into
Well,
it with
that's what I was just about to say. Well, do all the other people with a seat at the table
There
have
you
that
go.
executive mind and that history of
No,
success like that, or did they just get
no,
grandfathered
because
in?
no, well, they do, but L, we know they do because they're white. There's never this qualifying
thank
thing. But when
you.
you are a person that's an other, when you're an other, you do have to qualify. There are no qualifiers when you are a person with white
the,
privilege in this society. You don't have to
that's
do
true.
the checking
Yeah,
boxes
that's
thing.
true. I want to give context. I think what Joe keeps trying to stress though, try with Apple, they laughed him out the room. But when he had a chance to do so with JP Morgan Chase and Meta and him and Jackman Square, like he's not just doing some of the shit with rappers, that's a whole bunch of tech motherfuckers that hate him too.
I agree. He should
That
Yeah,
deals that he
absolutely.
could have been in on cap tables and equity and got pushed out because of all them fucking interactions.
let,
Like
let,
he
let,
got into it with the Winklevoss twins.
guys. I want to say something. He Drake, and I'm leaving after this, but I love you guys, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Drake had a moment where Spotify pre-IPO, Apple streaming in its nascent stage. He could have owned a piece of Apple. He could have owned a piece of Spotify,
Facts.
and he didn't. You know what happened? And this is why he's so angry. I guarantee it. You know who owns a piece of each of those companies now? The labels. They blocked him out of those deals. They got the ownership.
Off
Universal
his
owns it
back.
off of
Off
his
his
back.
back, and he
Off
left it
his
on the
back.
table.
And that's why he's losing his fucking mind right now.
Dog, he
Because
could have had equity in Coinbase
all of it.
So
and
so
dropped the
so
ball.
to, to the both of the both Ians, can I ask y'all a question? Did they take it from underneath his feet, Or did he leave it on the table thinking, oh, if I'm in bed with them, they'll
No,
give
he
it back to
wasn't
me?
thinking either of those things. He was thinking, I want my big check from the label because he was unaware and uninformed.
Okay, so he's
Well, no,
chasing a
I
his
check.
think
team
he
was
thought
helping
that he
him
didn't
chase a
need it and it
check.
would be available later.
Yeah.
And in business, you learn when
That's
equity's
what I'm
there,
thinking,
you
Ian.
got to
That's what I'm
take it
saying.
then. That
Yeah.
shit ain't
You gotta
guaranteed.
take it
Listen,
then.
I wanted,
That's what
I
I'm
want,
thinking. So
Joe and
Ian,
I,
you're on my brain, yeah.
I was just going to say, Joe and I wanted equity in Spotify. Okay. And it wasn't even up on the table when we went in there. They wouldn't even entertain it. We wanted it. We knew they were a pre IPO company when we first did our podcast the other day. They laughed us out of the room. Okay. Knowing what I know now, I would have put my foot down harder and maybe stepped back before I cut a deal because I know we should have owned a big piece of Spotify
Yep.
for the impact that we made for podcasting. Because what we did was we opened up a revenue stream for
For
Spotify
them
to
to
not
claim
have
money
to
from the
the
labels.
labels. Right.
Yeah.
There
Absolutely.
you go.
Yep.
And so they
And
didn't
we
have to
didn't know
share.
that play.
And we didn't
All
know
right,
at that
fuck it. I
time.
want to ask a hard question. Do y'all think it's kind of entitled for? Okay, this might be the wrong room to ask this question, but I'm gonna ask. Fuck it. I'm a G. Do y'all think it's kind of entitled for like talent to partner with a platform and feel like they deserve ownership because they're successful? Like, for example, let's say the Joe Budden Network starts a new show and the show is
Yeah.
wildly successful. Do you think the
Yeah.
people from that have the right to turn around and say, "Hey, I need some ownership in the
If
Bud
you ask
Network.
for
Please
it from
looking
the
out."
beginning,
If they ask for it and if they're
you
in a
can't ask for it
position,
7 years after it blows up, and now it's the biggest show in
I'm sorry, other
Ghana,
end. I'm so
NFL.
sorry, other end. I'm not familiar with who you are. I want to answer from the Joe Button Network, and I know it sound mean, so please don't blame me. Give me a little
No harm.
grace. Thank
No
you.
harm.
Ian, good question.
Wait, is wait 1 second, L. Is she sounding like a robot to just me?
Yes, you're breaking up a
Yeah,
lot.
I couldn't really understand the question, L, because you were breaking up.
Ian, did you understand my question?
I think I heard a part of it. You're
All right,
saying
go
if
ahead.
someone helps build something from the beginning and they address it from the beginning and they take care of it, should they be entitled to ownership in it? My
For
short answer is
example,
sure, there
a
should be.
new show on the Joe Budden Network. Now that show is
Hmm.
successful, and now they want some ownership of the network.
Oh, afterwards, they should
Perfect.
not be entitled to it. Absolutely not. No. Now, does that mean you shouldn't give that to them? I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying, should they be
Or that they shouldn't
entitled?
ask.
Should they be entitled? Absolutely not. That word is used way too broadly,
Yep.
and no
That's
one's
why you got to ask
entitled
for
to
it in the
nothing.
beginning.
There's no entitlement. Work for it, address it, and if it doesn't make sense to you before you start, then you walk away. But if it
Oh, good question,
does,
Ian. How do you ask for that? How do you ask for equity in a entity that's already successful, but you do have a value add?
okay, you can, and what I want to add to that is you absolutely can circle the block after something has already started and approach that. And there's no guarantee that someone that's in the ownership position will give you what you're asking for. That being said, the way you could ask for it is by saying, "Look, I see the value I add to this company, this business, this infrastructure that I'm helping build. I want a piece of the pie in a much deeper, more meaningful partnership. What can I do to become an equity holder here and allow the owner of the company to tell you what you could or could not do, and then take it from there. And then you
Hey,
all,
Ian, the short answer is get lit enough.
And
yeah.
you don't burn bridges on
Mhm.
your way there.
Wait, what'd
Big
you say?
facts.
Yeah.
You
You
got
said
you got
Thank you,
you got to
Truly.
get lit enough. That's it. You got to get lit enough so when you walk in the office, they know what time it is and they know the talk is
well.
about to be had.
That's true. I agree
They
with
got to
that.
be able to see.
Great answer.
See.
Yep.
But Joe, I just want to. Can I say one thing? The one thing I want to say is being lit. It doesn't always get you equity. Being lit may get you compensated, but it doesn't mean you deserve equity.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I'm with you on the. I'm not. Nobody's entitled to nothing. He just said, "How do you go about proposing that?"
You add enough.
And
You
I'm
right. Yeah,
saying,
you're right. If you add
get
enough
lit.
value, yes.
Get lit. You're not trying to convince nobody of nothing. You emailed Spotify in 2015. They ain't no.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I want to ask you, Ian, and Joe, or the other Ian as well. Do y'all think that if we just think about it holistically, this was a smart strategic move for Drake, or do we think it was just the best move he had?
I'm gonna say this and then leave. I think no matter what he did, it wasn't gonna look smart because it's so against people's construct of what is right and what is wrong in our culture. However, do I think it looks like the appropriate time to do this? No, but the answer to that is there's never an appropriate time. When it's right for you, it's right for you. So he may look crazy to everyone else right now, but in the future, you may look at this moment and go, fuck, thank God he did this because it helped everyone. And so let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but if you never try, you never know. And that's the end of it. I love you guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. At 2 o'clock, we're starting Improper Improv, Joe Budden TV,
There you
YouTube.
go.
We love you guys.
Thanks, Ian. Have a great
Happy Thanksgiving,
day.
brother.
Happy Turkey
Have a good show,
Day.
Ian. Don't try to siphon fans from over here to go watch your shit.
I was trying to, buddy. It's to your
Yeah,
channel.
nah.
I still love
Hey,
you.
have
Okay.
fun. Eat,
Okay.
eat. Go eat the pie. Have fun.
It's your channel. Okay, love you.
I'll
Bye.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching. I got two
Okay.
phones.
And L, I love you. I'm sorry we got a little head buddy in there, but it was good.
Thank you. No problem, Ian.
No, she does that with white people. It's fine.
Oh my
That,
Okay,
God.
awesome.
hello.
Okay. Bye,
If you
guys.
know L, then you know that she does that with white people. It's okay. L is a 5%. I mean, I'm spilling tea. All right,
That's fucked up.
I'm spilling tea.
I'm so
Hey, that was a great talk with some great input from each of you, and that was a really good question to ask. And hey, how do somebody even go about asking that? And before you get there, you gotta like listen. Now that you go, you gotta have the nuts to ask. Niggas don't have the nuts to ask. That's why I keep driving home the point about these check chasers. You chasing the check, they gonna put the little money in your face. Your brain not even gonna think of the other shit you could ask. So no, you gotta be brave enough to go in there, stand on your shit, and say,
Mhm.
I want in on that. Or I'm out.
Hmm. But now, Joe, let me ask you a question because I know everybody earlier was talking about he didn't know, he didn't know, he didn't know. How do you not know not to get in a 360 if your mentor is Wayne?
I don't think they have the same experience, but I understand what you're saying. And and
You, I
and
know it's
and
not the
that's an
exact, it's
and
not
that's an
yeah.
assumption to just how close they are to each
Hmm.
other's business. I want to get past the fan talk now.
Hmm.
We don't know that them niggas is
Hmm.
tight. You don't know if they kick it. You don't know how much they talk.
That's
We don't
true.
know shit about shit. And I do, like I said in the pod, believe that there was a time where Drake looked at him and said, all right, it's my turn now.
Get me saying.
Well, not okay. So maybe not friends, but at least on record, Wayne, prior to Drake getting into his bag, Wayne had already been on record saying he had a bad deal, and then we kind of were privy to not all the details, but
But
some.
wait, we
So,
nobody, just for clarity, because I know people are recording us.
hmm. Hmm.
Nobody is saying that Drake has a bad deal right this second, but Drake.
Facts.
No, not a bad deal. I'm not saying a bad deal. I'm saying even get into a 360
But
esque
but that's
deal is what I'm saying.
another. A 360 ain't always bad. I think that's something that we just have
Okay.
out there that hear 360 and think is horrible. That's I don't agree with that.
Yeah, because if the
Sometimes
number is
it could
big enough,
work.
then it's worth it, right?
But not just the number. It's not just the number. I'm never just talking about money. I'm not a money dude. Money is not that important. I'm always talking about the treatment, the creative control, and the participation.
yeah.
If we in a 360 and I get to be in on every call that a movie production calls and just throws out ideas, then I'm down. If we in a 360 to where it's you just coming to funnel to me whatever comes to you after you filter it and after you take 70% off the top and make me think that the 30% is 100%, all of the music industry games, then it's horrible. Then it's horrible. Every 360 is not the same. I think that homie looked at Wayne's shit. I want to call him homie too, but y'all's gonna get confused because they're taping the room. I think that he looked at him and said, damn, I see everything you went through. My situation isn't like that, and I'm going to make sure of it. So all of that cash money to Young Money to YMCMB to Univer, they had a lot of shit going on, but Wayne was always paid as talent. I do think there came a time where Drake stopped being paid as just talent. So he's at the graduation of that now, which is a tough spot. It's a tough spot when you already at the top and you're trying to grad. That's why I can't work for nobody. I can't work. I can't do that. I can't go to somebody and have them determine my shit. I'd rather go put all my eggs in my own basket. That's me. Everybody ain't. Most of the shit. 90% of this business is not like that. Most of these niggas are chasing a check. Some of them are living check to check. Everybody ain't as great. We on the internet. It just is all facades.
And can we talk about the other part? They have to eat, like, even with the Apple thing. I don't want to speak on this business, but he tried to convert that deal from cash to equity, and they told him no. Like, you have to be allowed into some of these rounds. Like, even with the
He had the gun before he made everybody all of the money in the world. Like if he had all the confidence in himself and what he could do outside of y'all, I just think those conversations go differently earlier. Not to say that he can't get a win today. I just don't see it in the paperwork. This is not the first time the industry has dealt with payola. People will pay the payola fine to do the payola.
it's a cost of business,
Yeah, it is.
Right. So that's where so when you say that, Joe, that's exactly why I feel when I read that. It's like that's the cost of doing business, even though it may be a bit unethical at times. Why now? Why is this
Well, that's why
round
it's so
robin
important. But
the
that's why I
problem?
keep saying it's important to not act on the emotion. Why now is because not
Exactly.
like us and yada yada yada. We don't need to get into it. But had this been his mindset before not like us happened, he probably don't even entertain Kendrick.
I couldn't agree more.
He
I
would
agree.
he
Because then
would
you
see
already
the bigger
know the
play.
play.
But that's why
Exactly.
but see, I trust patterns, not people. That's why the beef with him for me was, yo, dog, even in battle, you on records talking to all these niggas that don't matter. None of these niggas matter. It's just coming from hurt. Talk to Kendrick and Kendrick only if you're going to do that. And if you see the bigger play, then don't talk to nobody because your voice is your weapon.
Exactly. So my thing is like, why couldn't Drake have done? Well, I don't say his name. Why couldn't he have done the Frank Ocean move and just handle it in a different way from an artistic perspective to gain the leverage that you're looking for, and then make your move
Because they're not
silently?
fighting the same fight.
Yeah, not at all.
What is the fight that? Well, can you explain
Frank
to me
Ocean
maybe
just
the
wanted to
difference
get
that
out
I'm
his Def
missing?
Jam deal, and it's probably on the fringe of retirement right this second. They are not fighting the same fight at all. You could give Frank
Mm, okay.
$20 million and he'll go fade off into the sunset, never to be heard from.
And Drake is
Whole
fighting for
different fight.
leverage.
Whole different fight.
Got it.
He fighting for it all.
Okay. hmm but do you think that's now I'm teetering and I might get some hate. But do
Don't
you
worry,
think
I'm
that
banging
his
this
fight
room in a
is
minute.
but okay, but do you think some of that fight that you're talking about for him is more so just an ego,
If
greed?
you're asking me
It's a
honestly,
fight for
I
greed.
think he deserves it.
I was about to say that too. I was about to
Mm,
say, I was about to say, like, he
I think
definitely
he
deserves
deserves it.
it.
Like, it's like I tell
okay.
people, like, I
hmm
got to see you treat one person right for me to know that there's a possibility for you to treat that next big person right. The music industry don't have any example of them treating any of us right. No, no matter how big you
Okay,
are
I
or
can
how
see that.
small you are.
And we keep
That
hearing that. We keep hearing that
we
too.
don't see the example. We have 100 years of the same thing. That's why, like, I would care more about this Drake shit if the Michael Jackson shit didn't happen. Like, but it don't matter who you are. So, but he was close. I just think he should have went about it a different way. Because Michael Jackson probably found
I
out
just
too
don't
late
think
too.
making an
Michael
enemy.
Jackson run around buying
Yeah, and you
publishing
making
and
an
trying to
enemy hurts
destroy
feelings.
labels. Drake could have. He had these niggas. That's why I'm mad.
Yeah, buying the Beatles catalog, I didn't understand until more recently that's a power move. I thought it was like, oh, he loves the art. I didn't understand what was going on when I first heard that, but that's a good point.
Wait, Joe,
I
before
agree.
you bang the room, can I ask you, can
Mm.
you explain something to me? Um,
Maybe. Let's see.
oh, like I was listening to somebody else's conversation and they were explaining that if Drake moves his catalog to independent, something about some point system changes because like Universal has a certain level of market share and that's why they can get the amount of money they get. And they said something like when Kanye took his shit, the shit moved 2 points. Do you know what they were referring to? And can you give me like a quick little breakdown of what the fuck they talking about?
Well, I cannot because every contract is not the same. So these are not just standardized numbers that you're talking about. Kanye signed a whole bunch of amendment. He amendmented himself to death. But I'm a genius, so I'll make my rounds in fashion, make my money, and I don't give a fuck about the rest of y'all. So I'm gonna say what the fuck I want. Kanye is a whole nother beast in himself. But he did it. That's what Drake gotta do. It's gonna take some people not liking you. But he gotta ruffle a feather and not Metro Boomin in them.
Squabble up. Hey, squabble up.
Yeah, like come
Hey.
the fuck on already. We hitting the 2030. You know how I'm passionate about this shit. I'm really, really passionate. Do you know how frustrating it is to watch every industry boycott until they get what they want, except for musicians? Like it's just disgusting out
Mm.
here.
It's
It's
frustrating.
nasty.
It's frustrating.
Hey, not for me. I stepped right out of that maze.
No, but it's
Not for me.
frustrating.
But this industry has a different code, Joe. I mean, I thought that's I think the reason why you don't see it is because they have a
But
different set of morals in this industry. Other industries see it differently. This is the industry where we got street code mixed with, history mixed with different cultural connection. It's like it's just not black and
our
white.
I
I don't
don't.
strength,
I,
feel.
or,
So how do you get on one page in terms of having an industry standard when
Who put
everybody
those
has
rules there though?
their
because the
own
codes need
thoughts?
to change. Like things need to shake up and things need to change. Yes, that same thing that empowered us at one point, it can still empower us to a certain degree now, but there are things that we have to change and adjust in order for us to be able to truly thrive in said culture of hip hop. Like I think that we're hearing the same thing from too many artists, too many popular artists for us not to come together on something that we all agree on, and then we're allowing for particular artists to get thrown under the bus and suffer because everybody else just wants to keep playing by the rules. Like things need to change,
Right,
like
right,
it,
I
it
agree.
like things have to change. It has to.
Right, but it also has to start
I
different. I
don't want
mean,
to
I mean, I
have
don't know.
none of
Y'all
these
wanted to.
talks. You don't have. Well, for me, I'm only speaking for me. I don't have these talks once I realize most of the people volunteer to be in the system and want to be in the system.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah,
Literally,
that's what
thank you.
seems
You
hard
took the
about a
words out of my
boycott
mouth.
to me. The
You
line is
took the
so
words out of my
long for
mouth.
niggas who want to be in your position that I don't even see how a boycott would work. Because as soon as 10 people say, hey, we're not participating anymore, 50 people going to run up and say, well, put me in the game, put me in the game.
You moved out the
like
way. You moved out the
honestly.
way. It's
Oh, go ahead,
very,
Dylan.
yeah. No, I was saying it's like a dog eat dog type situation, and crab in a barrel type vibe. It's like, okay, once you move out the way, you was my biggest comp. Let me get in that meeting and have that conversation with old boy. Like this moment, you don't think there's 17 million rappers that's now trying to see if they can get their manager or their team to coordinate some sort of a conversation with UMG off the back of this Drake thing? I think it's obvious.
See, that's why. And if Drake maybe in 2016 ish, somewhere around nothing was the same before more life, somewhere around there. If he were to say, "All right, I'm starting my," let's call it a management company, even he could have called this shit anything. I'm starting my hub of artists where I will be grooming and helping. I'm saying before niggas knew that maybe that wasn't his bag with all of them other acts. Like if he said, yo, I'm mentoring, I'm starting a crew over here, and we're gonna move outside of yada 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 and incentivize them in some way. I think enough people join that to scare everybody else.
So do what Jay
I,
Z
I
did.
think I think yeah, but he was different. He was different. Hove was the old nigga coming to them with an amazing concept. So you got the big dogs to be down. I'm not saying that Drake should have just approached the big dogs. I'm saying he should have created his own market share, kind of like his own fucking Bitcoin. And he could have done that. I don't know how many other people can, but I'm not even seeing the attempts. So, and I don't care because it don't
That's what
have
I'm
nothing to do with
saying.
me.
No, I get what you're saying. I don't think you should use grooming, but I do get what you're saying, just in
But
reference to
I'm
yourself.
talking about grooming. That's the correct word.
It was a
But
joke. It was a
yeah,
joke.
but
Oh no, keep me out of
But
the
that's what I
jokes
was
now that
just
the
that, and
lawsuits are
that's
flying.
yeah. But no, but that's another reason why I kind of made the R.B. Luther King statement. Is like I'm trying to find where did this turn on? When? Because I feel like I don't see. Maybe again, it could be my ignorance of not knowing. But where has he ever attempted to make these type of power moves in terms of getting outside of, like you said, wanting to be in bed, having these relationships, and then those relationships not becoming
Ian, didn't you
fruitful
just
or
tell
as
us he
fruitful as
tried to
he
get
wanted
some
them to
shares
be.
of Apple? Didn't you just tell
Yeah,
us
he
that?
tried to get equity in Apple. They didn't like
That
they
was
have to
when
allow you to
2015,
do that.
2016.
Yeah, I just
We're
want to
making an
reiterate
assumption
that
he
I
has not
think
been trying to do this. I feel
No,
like
no,
he
no, no, no,
took
no,
it
no, no,
on.
no,
I
no,
didn't
no,
make
no,
an
no.
assumption.
Him
I
getting
just said,
shares,
so
him
you
getting
come up here
shares
trying to
in
do too much.
anything is not the same
That's
as
not
what
the
I just
same
said.
thing.
That's building your
Thank
own.
as
you.
Yeah, yeah.
making his
Thank you.
Once
own.
you, yep.
It's not the same thing. Thank you.
But
That's
I
what
I
I
don't
just
was
know
want to
that
saying.
I
reiterate that
don't
I
know
do
that
think
Drake is
Drake
actually
has a
trying to.
good legal argument, and I do think although the streets is looking at him crazy, if he comes out of this getting out of his deal and getting a boatload of money and then have an opportunity to do even what Joe just said, then he won. So he may look goofy, but
Like, play it out. Like, for the basketball fans, it's the Heatles. Like, imagine Drake being Dwayne Wade and just talking to, yo, hey, Future, when your deal is up, hit me. Thug, hit me.
Yes.
SZA, hit me. All of
Yes.
these people that he just is around. Hey, Snow Allegra, when your shit is up, hit me. I got to play. He could have just, oh my God,
That's what
whatever.
I'm
Well, to
saying.
me,
That's
it sounds
literally
like you
what I'm
just want him to
thinking.
do what Jay Z did. It keeps sounding like that to me because that sounds like title to me. What you're saying. And then the first example, management company sounds like Rock Nation. This is the thing. I think it's a lot harder. It's easy for us to play Monday quarterback and be like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? It's hard to conceptualize what you don't see. That would have required Drake to be
To stop
and
fucking everybody's baby mom and try to
oh
see it.
my god. This
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
you
I'm out,
He had
bro.
everyone.
I'm gonna
different
spend time with the family.
priorities.
Love you, man. Appreciate you.
I love y'all
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I
yeah,
do
Have a
y'all
think
good
it's a
y'all
one.
wanted to
reason why
go
he
under the
keep
table.
bringing it up
Priorities
because
is priorities.
yeah,
Hey,
niggas
I
had
can't
different
go.
versions of
I
money.
can't go get in my escort bag because I have a big meeting and I got shit that I got planned. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, I know Rick don't like when you bring up the fucking everybody bitches, but I think it's more than just like trying to hate on fucking everybody bitches. It's like, what was a win to
It's
you?
a
W-
headspace.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what did
That's
you
exactly.
feel
exactly
like
where
you
I
were
was going
winning
with
because
this.
you
He
was shitting
clearly
on
did
these?
not have he didn't have the guidance or he didn't
No,
have
Rick,
the
hold on. No,
somebody
no.
to
It's a
show him.
personality thing. What is a win to you? What makes you feel like you the shit? Are you the shit because you won against these labels or because you got a good positioning in this industry or are you the shit because you made these niggas feel small
He
because you
didn't
was able to
even know
take
he
they
was
bitches?
fighting the label El Janelle. That's the point. Y'all can y'all. This is the thing. This is one of those things where ignorance is one of those things that it doesn't absolve you of a crime, but we should lend you some grace. Clearly, he didn't know, and you can fault him. You feel like that was immaturity. If you feel like that was him being childlike. If you feel like he spent way more
Yes,
time trying to
that's what
fuck
we
people,
saying.
baby mom. I'm
Yes.
I'm fine with the scrutiny and the criticism. Nobody's above it. What I'm saying right now is I what I don't like is we're having this conversation today because today it appears he's figuring something out. Today it feels like he's seeing the picture. He's done looking at his phone. He's starting to look at the movie screen. Next thing you know, he's going to be looking at the sky. That's what you've been trying to show him, the bigger picture. It takes people time
Well,
to see what you're trying to
But I
show
also,
them.
but I
That's
also
not
Rick,
how
think
it's
that
well,
that
well,
that may
been.
Rick,
not
let
be
me
the
just speak for
play.
me. Let me just speak for me, just so we're clear. We have the conversation today because the paperwork that went out kind of confirms a lot of the things that people were thinking, but it was just speculative. That's why I have it today with a different tone. But go ahead, Jonah.
No, I
We
was just
got
gonna
eight
say
minutes
I
and I'm booming this. Improper improv is happening, and I've given you Clipper niggas your month. Your month. Merry Christmas. You keep
right.
it by giving it away.
Shout
Go ahead,
out to
Joe.
Two Clean
Talk
Johns.
about it. Talk about it. I just wanted to say this to the point that was made about the ignorance is bliss or grace. I think there's a big difference. There's willful ignorance, and then there's also ignorance by proxy. So you just don't know because you don't have the access. I do think that maybe some of the nuance that people can be speculative about, there's nothing wrong with it, is saying Drake's ignorance is because he chose to be ignorant. He chose to turn a blind eye and focus on other things. And to your point, he's now waking up, which is good, but I do think that then can still come with, well, you're waking up when now it's of a non-benefit to you. And I think that's just where the speculation of why does come into play, and it is fair. Now, is it accurate? I don't know. But I don't think the ignorance card is a, oh, he didn't know he's this victim. No, I think he had enough access, enough relationships, enough connections, in my opinion, where that could have been you were ignorant, but ignorance is bliss to you because you were cool with the benefits you were receiving at the time, which is money, hoes, power, fame, success, all the things that are your equity. That's your equity. And I think that's what Elle was saying, is maybe people have different levels of equity, and maybe now Drake is saying, okay, now I want to change what I feel mine is.
Oh, I got another
And that's
question.
cool, but I don't know.
Is Kendrick okay? So let's just say we assume everything Drake is saying is true. This whole conspiracy to almost replace him with Kendrick in a way. I know I know I'm a lightweight exaggerating, but let's just roll with it. Is Kendrick a hypocrite to take all of the shit that maybe Universal was doing for Drake and benefit from it and try to almost take that spot if his main thing has been so anti-industry? Or is it like, yeah, maybe we want him to
I
He's
would
get
a
to
say
that?
yes.
hypocrite and a pawn. He's doing to Drake
Or
what
hold on,
Chris
let me tell
never
you the
did to
or let me
MJ.
tell you the or let me tell you the or is it almost better for him to get that position because he seems like he has the rebel energy where he wouldn't have been just trying to fuck people bitches. He would have been trying to get us to where we're all saying we wish Drake would have went years ago. So is it a good thing? Like, yeah, put Kendrick there because Kendrick gonna play the game the right way. Or is it like, oh, this nigga's a hypocrite. He talked all that shit. Now he wants a
If
position.
Drake is too far behind, Drake is too far behind. Are we really going to argue that Kendrick can do it now? Is that the argument we're trying to set forth? If Drake is
Yeah.
too far behind, and he had
But what
Kendrick
we talking
Lamar
about
just
doing
got
what?
his record label like
Well,
3 years
yeah,
ago.
because yes, I would make that argument, Grandpa Rick. Let me tell you why. Because when y'all were describing when Drake should have did it, it was before he made everybody all of the money. So it's like when
Yep.
you were in a
Hmm.
position of, hey, you seem valuable and it seems like there's a lot of money coming in your future. That's kind of when y'all described as the right time to make that move. So that would kind of be where Kendrick is right now, correct?
I
And I
disagree
don't
with
think that
that.
at this point Kendrick would be able to be bought. I don't think that he's in a position. I think
That's
if you listen to
crazy.
some of his art, he does say no, for real. If you listen to the art, there's a lot of uh pointing to, I've been there, done that. I processed me wanting to be the nigga with the chains. Now I'm trying to, set people free, etc. With all the bars that all the Drake lovers hate. References where he stands and what's his value. So I do think pawn is I don't know how I feel about that. I won't say I agree or disagree just yet about that statement, but does it could it present that he's hypocritical? Yes, depending on how deep the relationship goes. How much he does. Him being offered opportunities like the Super Bowl is not a pawn. I mean, I just see it differently and I think it's okay. But I just don't see opportunities where he can get on that platform and present the way we know Kendrick has presented. Kendrick don't present cookie
Y'all
cutter,
believe this man marketing, and it's so
watered down
stressful because if
presentations.
y'all think that this man trying to be a martyr, he's trying to become what Drake is. He wants
Ain't
to
nobody
become
saying he's a
Drake. Why do
martyr.
y'all think he
What?
put out this album? It's never. He's not trying to fight the industry. He's in bad with the industry. They just give you a different
He definitely
presentation
Yeah,
does
than
why
not
you
would
want
he
to
Yeah,
do.
want to
that's
become
be
Drake.
Drake?
wild.
He doesn't want
And
to become
he
Drake at all. He
He
wait,
actually
don't
is
want
the
to
hold
be
on. Who
Drake.
is he
antithesis of
not
Drake.
fighting the industry?
What are
Like,
we talking about? He's the
I don't see how y'all
antithesis
can't
of
see
Drake.
I
this.
What are we
don't
talking
Everybody
about?
can see this. Why
We don't
is
see
he
how
now
you
making
can't see that he's
commercial
the
music? All of a sudden
antithesis.
he want to make West. He was just doing woke books and
He's
theses and
not making
theories and Pulitzer
commercial
Prize
music.
worthy albums, and now all of a sudden he want to bang with the West Coast. What do you think that is? Let's just put a plot together.
All of a
He's trying
sudden,
to
he
make
wants to
more
all
bang
of a
with
commercial
sudden he
music
Hometown.
so he can build
Now we gonna act like
more
the
commercial
bait. Now we
albums.
gonna act like that
yeah,
sound was
I
commercial,
would Joe,
That
you
sound
see
is
me come off mute.
commercial.
Hold on, because
See,
I've been
now
in
this
Oakland
is
for
where
a long
this is
huh?
where
So
that
that
reach.
That's
sound
hold
was
on,
so
That's
hold
popping,
on,
crazy.
huh?
hold
That's
on.
some
Y'all
reach right
cannot see
now.
this play. That's
Hell no.
insane to
That's
I've
me.
been in
crazy as
Oakland for
hell.
a long time, and
No,
that
it's
is
the
not the
praise y'all make
commercial
up.
sound
Like
that
that's
all you
not a
niggas
real
was asking
play.
for at
That's
all.
not
Y'all was
It's
commercial
just
at
his
trolling.
all.
version of commercial. He can't go make Hotline Bling. Of course not. That would just be so obvious and off
Because he's
brand.
not he's
So
not
if I'm
chasing after
trying to
Drake. He wants to
transition,
Damn
you know
was
what I
destroy
make?
what
commercial,
I
bro.
Drake
make
did.
Luther. I make fucking TV off. I make Hey Now. This is the
But he's
closest he
already
can
had
get to
all of
what Drake
that. He's
makes.
done all of that
Are you
already.
saying you think
He's done all of that
I
already.
think
Did
that
we listen to
Luther's a way
Damn?
better scissor feature than that shake your ass
Oh,
bullshit.
yeah,
If
and
you
boo.
are
talk about
you
Rich
saying
Baby Daddy, sure, but
Song
you're
was
not really talking
horrible.
about Slime You Out. But that's fine.
That song was
I
absolutely
don't.
horrible.
This is the
Thank
thing. I don't
God
want
it's
to argue
gone
with
and
Rick.
over
Rick, do
with.
you
This
think
man
TV
is a
off is a
hypocrite.
commercial
He's showing
sound?
you
Hold
he's a
on,
hypocrite.
Rick,
He's
I'm
showing
asking you a
you the
question.
pond. Y'all don't want to see it. Y'all believe the hype,
Oh
and
my God,
it's
Rick is going
clearly
through
that
her
he's trying to. He
series.
want Drake's spot. He want to be in bed with the industry. He's not trying to
Yeah,
destroy
we
it. If he was trying
No,
to
that's
destroy
not
it, you
clearly.
don't do this to
Look,
Drake. You don't get on a public platform and call that man a
you
pedophile when you
don't
know
do
he
this to
was
Drake
Yeah.
is
because
crazy.
he was
Drake did
gonna
it
get
to
Rick,
in.
himself.
You
Oh
Rick,
my
know he was
God,
gonna
here
get
we
Rick.
in
Y'all
with
go.
Drake.
got 2
Okay,
minutes
Okay,
and I'm
hold
booming
on, 2
it.
okay,
minutes.
now here we
Rick,
go.
I
Here we
disagree with
go.
what you're saying. I think the reason why you think everybody want to be Drake is because you see value in Drake. There's a lot of people who don't have that same
Exactly.
I don't
analysis
mean
of. Hold
literally
on, let me
Drake. He
finish. Let
want
me
Drake's
finish, Rick. Let me finish,
spot.
Rick. Let me finish. There's a lot of people that don't have that same analysis of like Drake is the man, Drake is the spot to be. There's a lot of people who think Drake be on some fake ass shit, some copycat ass shit, some overly commercialized shit, and they don't want to be him. Especially a nigga who feels rooted in what Pac was doing. It doesn't match that a nigga who looks up to Pac wants to be Drake. They're opposites of each other.
And can I say something to what you're saying, Elle? Can I say
Yeah.
something what you're saying? Absolutely, Kendrick should be the
We
person in
got
play. But
1
you want to
minute.
know what? We want
We
to get a
have
Dun dun
1
Cosmopolitan
dun.
colonizer
minute
out the
What do
space.
before
you
this
think
room
Kendrick
If
Lamar is?
Well,
self-destructs
Y'all
and
before you
use the
answer
analogy of
disappears.
Carter, I just
hypocrite.
want to
let
say
me
This
say
Joe,
nigga
my
no,
is
no,
a
no,
birthday
no,
was
no,
industry
no.
last
baby.
Hold
week.
on.
He got
Let you
I had a
59
land.
great
Grammys.
time.
He got
All
hella
right.
number one hits.
Happy
He about to be on the
belated
Super
Thank
Bowl. The writing is
But
on the
can
wall. This
we
nigga
get
wants
to?
to
Rick.
be a pop
Can I
star, and he
land?
Do
been
the
mad
mute.
that he
Do the
ain't been
mute
in.
thing.
And you
Rick,
know who was
take
Bro,
booing
that.
him?
Take it to
Drake.
Danny's space, Rick.
Right outside, lost our lives. Tell the red blues, come with me right outside. We done did everything except lost our lives. And you know them dark skies won't stop our shine. God, please watch over me for this one last ride. One last ride. Tell the red blues, come catch us right outside. We done did everything except lost our lives. And you know them dark skies won't stop our shine. God, please watch over me for this one last ride. One last ride.
For this one last ride, we did everything except lost our lives. We did everything except lost our lives. God, please watch over me for this one last ride.
I was taught, stand on your business and don't fall for nothing. And if you save all winter, you can ball all summer. If it ain't about a stack of more, don't call my number. Swear I done touched 1 million plus, all off hustling. When you really get to the paper, the bitches treat you different. Lobster with the steak fillet, nigga, we eating different. Some of my niggas dead, some locks, we couldn't beat the system. I was in the hood so blind I couldn't see the vision. Trap house with your baby mother cleaning dishes. I always knew I was good when I had Nisha whipping. Easy victim, that's something I ain't